Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. This is episode number 113, and in this episode we're going to be taking on area number 9 of Mount Battle. And we begin with zone number 81, Sailor Holes. Yes, his name is Holes. Don't make fun of him. Actually, do make fun of him, because his starting Pokemon are Grimer, yes, Grimer in area 9, and Wobbuffet. Why this Grimer is unevolved just completely baffles me. I don't understand how an Area 9 Pokemon at level 63 of all things could not be evolved, and it's not even like you need to use some type of stone that he couldn't find in order to evolve Grimer. It evolves in the 30s. It evolves at like level 37 or 38 or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to go for the Protect and Earthquake combo here, and Earthquake obviously is going to take out the Grimer. It was super effective, although I don't think I needed it to be, considering it's just a Grimer. And it doesn't do like a crazy amount of damage to Wobbuffet, but Wobbuffet's defense and HP stats are just kind of redonkulous. So he takes it pretty well, and he also is going to knock out Flygon with a counter, which obviously is going to inflict double the damage that we inflicted on him with Earthquake, so that's way more than Flygon could withstand. Probably like 200 and something damage. Alright, so we're going to send out Vaporeon next, and the replacement on the opponent's side was Exploud, the pure normal type. It's the final evolution of Whismur, and it relies heavily on its very high attacking stat, and it doesn't really have much else going for it. It doesn't have anything but just mediocre stats across the board except for its attacking stats. We're able to knock it out in one hit with Hydro Pump, and I've really come to enjoy using Vaporeon's Hydro Pump much more than I thought I would, because normally I don't like using Hydro Pump because of its bad accuracy rating. And it's actually not that bad. It's 80% accuracy, but just for some reason when I use it, I just have really bad accuracy with it. But it's been really awesome. It's been a lot better than Water Pulse, obviously. It did connect again against that Swalot, so it brought him down into the low yellow health, and then Iron Tail missed, so that part kind of sucks, but because he used Stockpile, he pretty much wasted his turn, so we're going to take him out in this turn. Vaporeon's going to go for an Ice Beam, and Swalot goes down. Goodbye. And this battle's pretty much ours now, because he has no more attacking Pokemon. He just has Wobbuffet, who can only deal damage based on retaliation. And he's down into the red zone now, and with Mirror Coat, that's not going to do any damage, because the only special attack we used was Ice Beam, and we used that on Swalot, not Wobbuffet. And a Bite from Vaporeon is going to finish off this Wobbuffet, so it did take like 3 or 4 hits, but finally Wobbuffet goes down, and that's going to do it for Sailor Holes. Ha ha ha, what a stupid name you have. Pulverized! Yeah, you got pulverized, punk. Moving on. Get on to zone number 82. We're going to switch Zaprong into the front, and we're going to switch Flygon out for Crobat. Feel like they could use some work. Why not? We need to spread the love around, because we need to get as much experience as possible at the end of the 10th area. The Pokemon are at level 70, so we're not even close to there yet. And we're going to have to do some outside training off-screen probably to get up into that range, to be able to challenge those Pokemon, because there's also going to be quite a few legendary Pokemon in Area 10 as well. Alright, so we have Crobat and Zaprong here against Azumarill and Wailmer, 2 pure Water-type Pokemon. Wailmer is unevolved. It's supposed to evolve at level 40 into Wailord, but this one hasn't for whatever reason. So we're going to go for a Giga Drain on Wailmer, and it takes away about half of his HP, which is saying something, because Wailmers usually come with a lot of HP. Zaprong is going to go for a Thunder on the very, very bulky Azumarill, and we get a critical hit there, and that's going to take out the Azumarill. If we didn't get that critical hit, I do not think that it would have gone down in one hit. Azumarill doesn't usually go down even to just one super effective attack. You usually have to get a critical hit. Alright, Wailmer's going to go for the Rain Dance. So it's raining now, and that means that Castform is going to turn into the Rain Droplet Pokemon, the pure Water type. And that's just good news for us, because while all of his Pokemon work well in the rain, our Zaporeon works even better. And it also exploits all of their weaknesses. So Thunder's going to be a 100% accuracy machine for the rest of this battle. Giga Drain from Crobat finishes off Wailmer, who didn't have a lot of HP left. But it's pretty cool to have Crobat finishing off Pokemon with Giga Drain. Have to say that's pretty awesome. Wailord is a replacement Pokemon, so I guess they do have an evolved one. And Thunder is going to take out this Cast Form in one hit, so that saves us from a powered-up Weather Ball attack, which I assume was coming. That would make the most sense. But anyway, we just have this Wailord left to deal with, so we should be able to knock it out with a Giga Drain followed by a Thunder, and it should not even get a chance to attack. Takes away about a quarter of its health with Giga Drain, and Thunder should do the rest. And Wailords are pretty slow, but again, they're so bulky, especially when it comes to HP. It's crazy. It is crazy. Alright, Wailord goes down as expected. And yeah, that's going to be the end of this battle. Bodybuilder Alba. That's a somewhat normal name, strange spelling. I've also never heard someone with the first name Alba, but that's okay. I haven't heard someone with the first name with like 99% of the names in this game, so I guess that doesn't mean anything. Alright, we're up to zone number 83 now. We'll take Zaporeon out, we'll put Flygon in, and we'll leave Crobat in there as well, so hopefully we can get some Earthquakes off. If only Mr. Casual Guy Ginner doesn't have anybody with Intimidate or Flying types. And, he doesn't have either of those, but he does have Shedinja, and Shedinja is immune to Earthquake, so it didn't really work out so well. But we also have Wishcash on the field here, which is a Water and Ground type Pokemon. It is 4 times weak to Grass, so we're going to be exploiting that with Giga Drain from Crobat. That's the best move, and Shedinja obviously has that Wonder Guard ability, so it prevents it from taking any damage from anything that's not super effective on it, except for weather conditions. So we could go for like Sandstorm, Hail, Spikes, stuff like that. But I'm going to go the easy route and just go for a Flamethrower, which takes away all of Shedinja's 1 HP. And down it goes. Alright, Lantern is a replacement Pokemon. It's a Water and Electric type. And it has the Volt Absorb ability, so do not use electric moves on Lantern. It will absorb them. And did Wishcash just really use Water Gun? Was that a Water Gun? Honestly, this is Area 9. What the hell? Area 8 was a lot more difficult. Okay. So we'll go for a Giga Drain here with Crobat. And that's going to take out the Wishcash. It is to be expected. And yeah, down he goes. Bye-bye, Wishcash. He looks so sad when he dies. Alright, the replacement Pokemon is going to be another Water and Ground type Pokemon, Quagsire. And he's not immune to Earthquake, nor is he resistant to it, so he can deal some good damage to him. We should be able to finish him off with a Giga Drain next turn. Meanwhile, Lantern is weak to Earthquake, and it goes down to it in 1 hit. Crobat is almost up to level 63, so close I can taste it. Not really, I just made that up, but you know what I'm saying. Alright, we'll go for a Giga Drain here, and if by chance he survives, which he doesn't, I was going to hit him with an Earthquake right after, but that appears to be unnecessary as Quagsire goes down rather easily to that Giga Drain. And Crobat grows up to level 63. I really need to train my Pokemon off screen. I'll probably do another run through this area afterwards to get some more experience. But we also have the Lucky Egg quest coming up after this episode, so I might wait to get the Lucky Egg to get some extra experience, because at this level, it takes them forever to grow levels, even when training against Pokemon that are a little bit stronger than them. Anyway, alright, so I'm going to switch Ninetales and Agron into the front. They could use some action for sure. Bring your best! Okay, I will. Bring my best. Ryder Copen. Alrighty. We have a Glalie. I couldn't decide how I wanted to say that. We'll go with Glalie. And Dunsparce. So Glalie is clearly the threat here, as Dunsparce is just a retarded little whatever it's supposed to be. I honestly don't even know. The first time I saw it, I thought it was a termite with wings. Anywho, both of these Pokemon are weak to fighting type moves. Oh, Glalie's going for a Protect here, which makes me wonder what in the world Dunsparce is going to be unleashing. So we're going to get a Brick Break off with Agron, which is super effective on Dunsparce. Of course, it's not going to kill it because Dunsparce is bulky as crap. And after all that suspense, Dunsparce is going to go for a Yawn, which is making Agron a little bit drowsy, so he's going to fall asleep next turn. But we're going to have a double KO here. Flamethrower is going to be super effective on Glalie, and down it goes. Alright, so after that, we should be able to get a Brick Break off, and that's going to be the end of Dunsparce as well. Walrein is the replacement Pokemon. The Water and Ice type does have the Thick Fat ability, so our Flamethrower is not really going to do that much damage whatsoever to it, which is unfortunate. And Tropius is going to be the replacement Pokemon for the Dunsparce. Agron is now asleep, sadly. Let's see, we'll go for a Flamethrower on Tropius. That'll be super effective. Because Tropius is Grass and Flying type, Ice is a great type to use against it, as it is 4 times super effective. Walrein goes for the Protect there, which makes me think Tropius is maybe going to go for an Earthquake. That would make the most sense. And, oh, gets him down to like 5 HP left. And Tropius is indeed going for an Earthquake here. It's going to be super effective on Ninetales. Takes him down to about half health. And, of course, Walrein is protecting himself. And Agron tanks that unbelievably. It's 4 times super effective, and it only brings him down to 97 HP, which is about half as well. Alright, now we're going to go for a Heat Wave with Ninetales. And it does almost no damage to Walrein, but I was just attempting it to possibly get a critical hit or burn condition. I didn't get either, but that's okay. It was worth a shot. In fact, I get the critical hit on Tropius instead. Of all things, right? And Tropius goes down from that Heat Wave. Walrein's going to go for a Blizzard, which is not very effective on either of these Pokemon, and Agron ends up avoiding it altogether. Alright, Rock Tomb on Walrein, which is going to be super effective, but Walrein is just crazy bulky, and he tanks that very, very nicely. He does get his speed lowered, so Agron should be a little bit faster now, but we should be okay. We'll go for a Flamethrower, which isn't going to do much because of the Thick Fat ability, but oh, we get a critical hit from that, and that actually ends up taking him out, so Walrein goes down. I have to say, in the last couple of episodes, a good, 75% of my critical hits have been, actually useful critical hits, which is something I'm not used to. I've been getting very lucky with that lately, and I'm kind of starting to get scared about when that luck is going to turn around, because I have a feeling that it's going to be at a very, very inopportune time. But keep my fingers crossed that that won't happen, because we only have a few videos left. I mean, I know I still am doing Pokemon White, so hopefully it doesn't transfer games or something. Alright, well, we're almost halfway through this area, which is pretty cool, so let's do this. Zone 85, Bodybuilder Korin. We have Hariyama and Slacking, or Slaking, however you want to pronounce it. I think it was intended to be Slaking because Slacking just sounds stupid. And it would be Slacking, I mean, if it had a C, that would make more grammatical sense. So I think it's supposed to be Slaking. Okay, so let's see what we want to do here. I'm going to go for a Protect with Agron, and we're going to try to pull off an Earthquake here. Both of these Pokemon are bulky, very bulky, especially Hariyama. So these Pokemon are going to be able to tank this like crazy, and they do. It doesn't bring either one of them down to half health, so that part kind of sucks. And Slaking is going to go for the ultimate move for the Slaking, because it has the Truant ability, which means it can only attack every other turn anyway, so it uses that to its advantage to go for a Hyper Beam and take advantage of its monstrous attack stat, and not to mention the fact that it's also a stab move. So that just destroys Flygon, and Hariyama for some reason has Ice Punch, which does nothing to Ninetales, but I mean, I guess it was a good As far as type advantages goes, it was a pretty decent move to use against Flygon, who was out before that. Flamethrower on Slaking does a lot more damage than what Earthquake did, and Slaking is now loafing around. We're not going to give him a chance to use another Hyper Beam because that would just be the end of Ninetales, that's for sure. With the Break, Slaking goes down, and Ninetales grows up to level 63. Wigglytuff is the replacement Pokemon. This thing is also pretty bulky. I don't know what the deal is with all of these bulky Pokemon. Hariyama goes for a Belly Drum, which is really stupid considering it already had lost some of its health. It almost killed itself by reducing half of its HP. And with a Heat Wave, even despite Hariyama's potential to have thick fat, I'm pretty sure it's going to kill it. And with the critical hit, it does indeed. Heat Wave doesn't do a whole lot of damage to Wigglytuff, but that's okay. It was more intended to get rid of Hariyama than do a lot of damage to Wigglytuff. And Brick Break leaves Wigglytuff with about 1 HP left. You can't even see the bar on that. Is it even there? Doesn't look like it's there to me, but there must be a tiny little speck in there somewhere. The most dangerous thing about Wigglytuff is probably its ability to use Sing and put you to sleep, and also its Cute Charm ability. So if you make physical contact with it, if you're the opposite gender, it has a good chance to make you infatuated. And that can be a real pain, especially if Wigglytuff is out early on in the battle. That can just cause you a lot of trouble, especially if it's out with Slaking and you're getting Hyper Beamed every other turn, and you're not making the best of the turns when Slaking can attack. Can cause some issues. Alright, so Zone 86 is up next, and we are officially halfway through this area, which is awesome. We have Casual Dude Lax. Guessing that's how you pronounce that. Some more Water-type Pokemon here, Clamperl and Pelipper. And it's kind of hard to believe we're already halfway through this area because we're only a little over 17 minutes into this video, and I was expecting this video to go about like 35 to 40 minutes, but I don't know if it's going to even make it that far if we keep moving this quickly. There has to be some more difficult battles coming up, or more lengthy battles coming up that will help the time out a little bit. Not that I want it to be a long video, but yeah, I just figured some of these battles will be a little bit better than they have been so far. So Flygon hangs on with 4 HP after Pelipper hits it with a 4-time super effective Ice Beam, which is just awesome. You go, Flygon, you're the man. Whirlpool with Clamperl is super effective, but it's such a weak move. And again, with the unevolved Pokemon, I don't understand how in Area 9 you have anything that's unevolved. But it traps Agron in the Whirlpool, so he's trapped and can't retreat, but that doesn't matter. We're going to be taking out this Clamperl with a Solar Beam here. Down it goes. Probably could have killed it with something else, but that's alright. And I probably should also think about taking out this Pelipper. Alright, Fortress is the replacement Pokemon. It's only weak to Fire-type moves, obviously. And I was hoping to kill it with Flygon, but that's not going to be the case because the second Ice Beam just proves to be too much for Flygon to handle. And I really need him to grow some levels because he's at 61 still, and everyone else is at like 62, 63. Yikes. Alright, so Rock Tomb with Agron hits Pelipper, and that's going to lower his speed a little bit, which might help, although I think he's more than one speed level faster than Agron. We'll see. Pelipper is going to go for a Protect, which leads me to believe that Fortress is trying to use Explosion on this turn. But we're not going to give it a chance to do that. Flamethrower is going to take it out before it gets a chance to do anything. If Fortress uses Explosion, you're in trouble. It's going to do a lot of damage to you. It's probably going to knock out both of your Pokemon. Unless you have somebody like Agron on the field who has a 4 times resistance to normal type moves. Explosion and Self-Destruct really doesn't do much to Agron at all. Alright. Rhyhorn is a replacement Pokemon, and it tanks that Flamethrower. I say tanks, but it was not very effective, so wasn't really expecting it to get killed anyway. A second Rock Tomb takes out Pelipper there. That part is nice. And Rhyhorn is going to go for an Earthquake, which is a good move, because it's super effective on Ninetales, although Ninetales takes that like a boss, and Agron just can't quite do the same. So that's kind of strange that Ninetales tanked that, but Agron doesn't. Alright, so we have Ninetales with like 20 HP left, and we're going to send out Vaporeon here to clean up the mess. Well, I guess Vaporeon won't even get a chance to attack. Yeah, we'll just kill this Rhyhorn with something that's not very effective to humiliate it. Take that. Down it goes. And that's going to be it for this battle, but before we end the battle there, Vaporeon grows up to level 63. So I really need to get Flygon caught up here, because he's like the only one that's falling behind. It's okay. Alright, so that's going to do it for zone... What zone is this? This is 86. Why did I want to say 66 so badly? Don't understand. I'm losing my mind. 87 now. Did he just say don't cry when I beat you? Really? Chaser Kippin? I'm gonna make you cry, man. Alright, Shelgon and Torkoal are the starting Pokemon. Torkoal is a pure fire type. It's very slow but very tankish. So it can absorb quite a few hits, even super effective ones. And then we also have Shelgon here, which is the middle evolution of the Bagon Salamence line. So it doesn't have its flying type yet. It's just pure dragon, which is pretty common for unevolved dragon Pokemon. You get a critical hit with Earthquake, and Shelgon goes down before it gets the chance to exploit the dragon on dragon weakness. And even though it's super effective on Torkoal, doesn't knock him out. Doesn't even get him into the red zone, because Torkoal's just, their defense is kind of crazy high. Coughing is the replacement Pokemon, and yeah, these unevolved Pokemon are everywhere in this area. It's kind of crazy. Alright, so Coughing is a pure poison type. It has the Levitate ability, so I know I always mention that, but don't use ground type moves. Don't think you can get away with using an Earthquake. It's not going to work. So basically, Coughing's only weakness is going to be Psychic type moves. If you don't have that, use anything that's a special attack, because Coughing's special defense is a lot lower than its physical defense. I know I say that all the time too, but we fight Coughings all the time. It's the best strategy. Rock Tomb from Agron. It's going to finish off that Torkoal. It can't stand up to a second super effective hit. Down it goes. Macargo is the replacement Pokemon. This thing is a rock type and a fire type, but despite being rock type, it's really not that bulky at all, and it has two 4 times weaknesses, one to water and one to ground, so you can go for either one of those, and yeah, it'll take it out in one hit. So I'm going to leave Coughing on the field for this one and go right after that Macargo, knowing full well that Earthquake is going to not hit Coughing, but I'd rather get rid of the Macargo. The Macargo is dangerous. More dangerous than the Coughing is. The most that Coughing can really do, I mean, it has self-destruct, but because it's an unevolved Pokemon, I'm not that worried about it. It has Destiny Bond as well, so that just means that you just have to not attack it for a turn. It's really all that means. Or, I mean, if it's the last Pokemon, just kill it anyway. Because all Destiny Bond does is it brings down whatever Pokemon knocks it out if it gets knocked out in the next turn. So it's like a double KO. We're going to go for a Dragon Breath here on Coughing, and that's going to kill it, and there you go. Destiny Bond takes out the Flygon as well. But that means that Agron is going to get all of the experience for that. So you can use that to your advantage if you want. Alright, with Flygon gone, let me see here. What should I do? We just have Metang out, so I don't know. We'll just send out Crobat just for kicks. Why not? I know I could send out Ninetales and kill it in one hit, but that's just too easy. I have to make this somewhat interesting, because these battles have been just horrendously boring compared to the previous battles. Have to say, Area 8 was much more difficult than this has been so far. Anyway, Shadow Ball is going to inflict neutral damage, so we'll go for that and see what that does. Not that much, but that's alright. Meteor Mash. That's one of the most powerful Steel-type moves. And it inflicts neutral damage on Agron, but it doesn't do that much because Agron still has killer defense. And Brick Break doesn't do a whole lot. Sorry if I seem distracted here. I have like crazy thunder going on in the background. I keep hearing it and then thinking that It's like a door or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm even talking about. Back to the battle here. Shadow Ball finally takes out Metang. And down it goes. That's going to be the end of this battle. And yeah, the only reason I even lost a Pokemon in this battle is because I basically sacrificed it, knowing that Destiny Bond was on the field, just killing the Coughing. I didn't want to wait to kill Coughing. I wanted him dead right at that particular moment. Didn't care what had to be sacrificed. I might as well keep Flygon out in the front since he's still at level 61. And let's go ahead and battle Hunter Nasum. Nasum. Gonna start off with Miltank and Golem. Ugh. Hate Miltank. Miltank is indeed a tank, as its name implies. It's just so incredibly annoying. It's one of the most annoying Pokemon to go against, honestly. This one's at level 67, so it's kind of high leveled. I imagine this battle's going to end up being long. Miltank's going to go for a Protect. I'm assuming that means an explosion is coming from Golem, so we'll see here. Go for a Dragon Breath. I'm going to try to take this Golem out before it can use Explosion, because Flygon's going to go down from an Explosion. Iron Tail, it does connect, but will it knock out the Golem? That is the question. And it does. It is just enough to get rid of him. Even despite Golem's pretty awesome defense stat, we had enough HP taken away from Dragon Breath to do the job. Flygon finally grows up to level 62. Seems like it's taken long enough. And Sandslash is the replacement Pokemon. It's a pure ground type Pokemon. We haven't seen too many of these. In fact, one of the only ones that I think we've seen all game long is the one that Justy had at the pre-gym. Alright, so this Miltank's going to go for Double Team. Oh, so not only are you going to be able to tank the hits that we do throw at you, but you're going to make it incredibly difficult for us to even hit you in the first place. Awesome. Earthquake. Miltank didn't even use Protect. It just relied on its Double Team. And Earthquake, in fact, misses it. And Agron goes down from that. Are you kidding me? That was probably the luckiest thing that you could have had happen. And of course it happens with Miltank. Of course. Alright, so I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp to try to burn it, but that's not going to do any good considering it used Protect. And we're going to unleash a Solar Beam on the Sandslash, and Sandslash cannot stand up to even one of those. Down it goes. So, yeah, Will-O-Wisp does nothing. Yeah, that's alright. Let's see here. We'll go for a Dragon Breath on a Will-O-Wisp. Maybe we can paralyze it, maybe we can burn it. I guess we're not paralyzing it because Dragon Breath missed. How did Dragon Breath miss? It has 100% accuracy, and then Will-O-Wisp that only has 75% accuracy is the move that hits after the Double Team. How that makes sense? Just don't understand what's going on here. Alright, Body Slam is the move of choice, and yeah, it doesn't do a lot of damage because of its burn, and it doesn't paralyze me, which I just don't understand. How does that happen? Because seems like 95% of the time that the opponent will use Body Slam on me and get paralyzed. I'm not complaining, I'm just observing that my luck is kind of like turning around a little bit here. Alright, so we're going to go for a Flamethrower. That's probably not going to do a whole lot. Nah, not really. And that's mostly due to Miltank's Thick Fat ability, so it halves damage from Ice and Fire type moves. And it's just going to keep spamming this Body Slam. That apparently is the only attack it wants to use. Just fine by me. As long as I don't get paralyzed by it, I'm fine. And I don't think Miltank's going to make it through the next turn, so... Oh, it is going to make it through the next turn. I spoke too soon. Of course, you're going to go for the Protect. All you're doing is killing yourself slowly because you have a burn condition. Why would you do that? That's like if you're poisoned and you're using Protect for no reason. You're the only Pokemon left, and the only thing Protect does for you is kill you slower. I don't understand why, if you had the option between getting killed faster or getting killed slower, why you would choose slower. Doesn't that seem like it would be more painful? I know she's just a cow, but still. Alright, well that's going to do it for this battle. Again, not a difficult battle. I'm hoping that the area leader is going to salvage some of the difficulty in this. But we have one more battle before we get there. Oh look, Chansey's ready to be purified. Isn't that fantastic? I'm very excited about that. Alright. Zone 89. Super Trainer Nimblus. Interesting. Sounds like a cloud name, but it isn't quite a cloud name. Alright, so we have Weezing and Pineco as the starting Pokemon here. We're going to send out Flygon and Agron like what we've been doing pretty much this entire area. And Weezing obviously is the evolved form of Coughing. It holds on to that Levitate ability. And this battle relies completely around Protect and Explosion. That is their entire strategy. She's just going to keep doing that. Just a matter of if you guess right on the first turn, and I didn't. So Weezing went for the Protect, and Pineco is going to use Explosion. And because it's an unevolved Pokemon, yes, Flygon holds on with 8 HP. Thank goodness for that. And, yep, that does a total of 22 damage to Agron, because Agron's amazing. And Pineco kills itself. So the only Pokemon that went down there was Pineco, which is fine by me. Alright, Graveler's the next Pokemon, so all of her Pokemon obviously are going to know Explosion. They're also all going to know Protect. So I'm assuming that... let me see here. I'm assuming that Weezing is going to try to use Explosion on this turn. Or they're both going to try to use Explosion on this turn because they clearly don't care about their well-being if that's their entire strategy. My entire strategy is that I'm going to kill myself in the hopes that you might die too. That's depressing. Okay, well, yeah, that didn't do a whole lot, did it? No, not enough. Explosion from Weezing. Clearly, he doesn't care about his partner. I mean, I know Graveler is still a rock type, but still. Alright, so Agron is only down to 126 HP, even after all these explosions. And that's not going to kill Graveler, which means he's going to live and use an explosion of his own. So, that puts me in quite the predicament here. Agron goes up to level 63, and he's trying to learn the move Double Edge, but my Agron doesn't have the Rock Head ability, it has Sturdy, so teaching Double Edge isn't as beneficial as what it would be if he had the other ability. If he has the Rock Head ability, he doesn't receive any recoil damage, so it's a perfect move for him, because you can just use it every turn and not feel any of the bad effects. Graveler, again, here is going for Explosion, and... I thought Vaporeon was going to tank that for a minute, but not quite. Vaporeon goes down, and Sudowoodo is the replacement Pokemon, and it doesn't kill him because it's not very effective, and Agron still isn't even down to half HP yet, because he's just fantastic. He's probably the next best defense to an Explosion, second behind only Ghost types that are completely immune to it. Let's see here. I guess I'll send out Crobat next. Does it really matter? All they're doing is Explosion. So we have Nosepass and Sudowoodo here. Both are just pure rock types. So I guess I'll go for Giga Drain on Sudowoodo, and we'll try an Iron Tail on Nosepass. Maybe I can kill both of them before they use Explosion. Giga Drain gets rid of Sudowoodo. He didn't really have that much HP to begin with, so... And his special defense is kind of bad, so... kind of figured that was going to get rid of him. Alright, she has one more Pokemon, the baby Seedot. It's a pure grass type. It's the first evolution, well, it's not even an evolution. It's the first form in the Nuzleaf and Shiftry line. Iron Tail connects with Nosepass and gets rid of it, so no Explosion on this turn. And let's see, Seedot is just a pure grass type, so it has a crap ton of weaknesses. Flying, Bug, Fire, Poison, Ice, you name it, pretty much it's weak to it. So it goes down to a Wing Attack. And that's going to be the end of this very depressing, but very colorful battle of explosions. And we're ready for the area leader next, which I really hope is a much better battle, because these battles, like I said, have been really disappointing. I do know for a fact that Area 10 is difficult. I haven't gone through it recently, but I do remember some of the trainer battles that are in there, and they're pretty cool, I have to say. They use some pretty cool strategies. You should be proud, it's quite the feat to get to Area 9. Yes, I know. Let's just do battle, come on. Area leader, Reagan. I'm gonna say that's his name. Agron and Gligar are his starting Pokemon. So, Reagan likes to use Pokemon that do well in sandstorms, pretty much, is the best way I can think about it. He has a lot of ground and steel-type Pokemon. Rock as well. Alright, so we know what Agron is weak to. He has 2 weaknesses that are 4 times super effective. That's going to be ground and fighting. The only downside to that is that he has just an enormous defensive stat. What I'm going to do is try to prey on his low special defense. I'm going to go for a Flamethrower here with Flygon. That does an okay amount of damage. But what I really want to do is get rid of Gligar first. And that's because Gligar almost always will have either Sand Attack or Double Team or some kind of annoying attack like that. So we're going to prey on his 4 times weakness to Ice there with Ice Beam. Get him out of the picture first. Down it goes. And yeah, now we're free to attack the rest of his Pokemon. Metagross is the replacement Pokemon, so this can get kind of iffy now. Aerial Ace from Agron. Why Aerial Ace? I'm not really sure, but that's okay. Does an okay amount of damage. Metagross is a Steel and Psychic type Pokemon. It's very bulky. It has good stats pretty much all the way around. There's not really any one of its stats that's bad other than speed, but it doesn't need its speed. So I'm going to switch out for Crobat here so I can unleash an undamaged Earthquake, or a safe Earthquake on my part. That's going to finish off Agron. Even with his high defensive stats, he's not going to be able to stand up to that after already being hit with a Flamethrower. And it's going to be super effective on Metagross as well, but his super high defense is going to keep him alive. It's not a 4 times weakness to ground for him, so he survives that. And the replacement Pokemon for Agron is going to be Regirock, the legendary rock golem of Hoenn. It's just a pure rock-type Pokemon, so it's weak to fighting and steel, water, and grass. I suggest using special attacks on it, so that means water and grass. Steel and fighting aren't nearly going to do as much because Regirock's defense is like Agron's. It's just ridiculous. This thing can tank just about anything. Alright, so we're going to go for an Earthquake. Try to get rid of both of these Pokemon. Obviously, it's not going to get rid of Regirock because of just its high defense, as I was mentioning. And Earthquake does get rid of Metagross. It took 2, but finally goes down. And what does he have? One more Pokemon? Yes. Skarmory. Another Steel-type Pokemon. It's also part Flying. This thing doesn't evolve. Partially because I think the game would be unfair if it evolves, because Skarmory is pretty amazing on its own. Anyway, Hyper Beam from Regirock gets rid of Flygon, but I honestly think that was kind of a stupid move, because now it can't attack the next turn, and Flygon didn't have a lot of HP left. I don't know why you needed to go for a Hyper Beam to get rid of him there. But now we can bring out Ninetales. Ninetales is going to be able to get rid of Skarmory in one hit. And Giga Drain from Crobat just doesn't quite get rid of Regirock. It leaves him with just a little bit of HP left. And Flamethrower, thankfully, is able to get rid of Skarmory before he can pull off any moves. If Skarmory has Drill Peck, he can be pretty dangerous. But it doesn't matter, he doesn't get to attack. Regirock can't even attack this turn. Both of my Pokemon are faster than him, so this battle is in the bag. Giga Drain from Crobat once again, and down it goes. So it took 3 Giga Drains and an Earthquake to knock out Regirock, but it finally goes down, and Regirock obviously is the anchor of this team, but couldn't hold up for very long. It didn't use a very good strategy, just with using Hyper Beam. But anyway, that's going to do it for this battle. It wasn't as intense of a battle as I would have liked, but that's what Area 10 is for, right? Alright, so we're going to get Poke Coupons for our troubles, of course. And it's going to be 1,700, which is the most to date, obviously, and I think we get 2,000 for Area 10, so that part's cool. If you need some TMs, that's the way to do it. And for completing this area, we're going to get TM 40, which is the highly coveted Aerial Ace. So we're definitely going to upgrade our Crobat's wing attack and go for Aerial Ace. It has the same base damage, which is 60, but it cannot miss, regardless of how many double teams and sand attacks were used. So I definitely want that on my side, because the luck usually doesn't sway my way when it comes to double teams. I don't know, I got kind of lucky with that Miltank, kind of sort of earlier, but yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? Alright, well that's going to be the end of this episode, guys. In the next episode, we have some purifications to do at the, whatchamacallit, the Pokemon HQ lab, the Purifying Chamber, and we also have the Lucky Egg quest to complete, so it's going to be one or the other in the next episode. Whichever one I don't do will be in the following episode, and then we're going to come back here for Area 10. And then after that, we have a purification of Shadow Lugia, and it's time for a finale. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for episode number 114. Game on!